Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Bravo. We're Black. And guess what? Leah from Positively Uncensored is back. You know her, you love her, you listen to her. She was over here many of the 40 days and 40 nights that I was dragging Amanda, dragging her right along with me. And today we are not dragging people. We're not even talking about reality TV. We are talking about a movie that has gone overly viral before it hit Peacock, before it hit streaming, before anything. At the theaters, Obsession was the huge movie of the year. It's not my kind of movie at all, so I have a horror fanatic with me. Someone who has great takes all the time on everything and loves breaking down things and noticing little things. So I'm just like, let me just talk with Leah about Obsession and some of the theories online that people have had about Obsession for a fun little video that you can listen to, especially if you don't want to watch the movie, but you want to know what the movie is about. So, number one, Leah, how are you? I'm so glad to have you and thank you for coming.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see your face. I'm so happy that you're back with us. It's just so good. And I'm honored that you think that I have great takes and that I am like intelligent. So I'm happy to be here. And
Yes.
I can't wait to talk about obsession because I haven't really talked about it either.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get straight into it. The
Hmm.
plot of it is there is a man, if we can call him that, Bear, and there there is a woman, Nikki. Nikki is not in love with this man. She just made one terrible mistake, and it's being friends with the man, platonic friends with the man. That's all she is guilty of. This man, Bear, is in love with Nikki, and him and his best friend, who is a terrible person, basically hypes him up um to tell Nikki that he's in love with her, but instead of doing that, he does something very weird. He makes a wish from there's a spooky, vibey, cool shop that sells these things, and it's a part of a willow tree, and you can make a wish and the wish comes true, but you have to be very specific on what wish you decide to make. And he wished that Nikki loved him more than anyone in the fucking world. And he broke that willow tree wish, and boy, does Nikki start loving him more than anyone in the fucking world. The poor girl is literally a shell of herself, and she decides that, it's her and Bear and they're in this together. They're doing life together. And throughout the movie, she does the most disturbing things, but you can tell that it's literally not her, which is a part of the debate whether she was possessed or whether she was in her body, which obviously we'll talk about our theories. But by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, she has killed a friend. Another friend dies, the same one that, pushed Bear up to talk to her and tell her that she was in love, and also Bear himself dies, uh, after she makes a wish on the one willow tree wish thing, and she's left alone by herself, free from this wish. So she's finally free, and she has to deal with the consequences of multiple murders and literal trauma of being the object of a man's desire. And it's the most chilling, crazy, um, tale that really speaks to how terrible dating is at this time and place and moment, honestly. What did you think of the movie overall, Leah?
First of all, iconic 3 minute or less breakdown of a 1 hour and 30 minute, very complicated movie. That was amazing. That was exactly what happened. Second thing, as you're talking, I can't believe that this is the first time that I'm putting two and two together because I've talked about the movie so much. But I can't believe the choice of his name being Bear, which I didn't think anything of because my best friend was about to name her son Bear because it's her husband's middle name. TMI. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, Bear." Okay, people are naming their kids that now. But now as you're talking about it, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, the man or the bear." Like, and it's
The Man or
still
the Bear?
a man. I thought the movie was fantastic. I thought that the brutality from the movie was something that I did not expect. I thought that for not seeing 90% of this cast ever before, mostly everyone on our screens, I thought that they did such an amazing job, and I thought that the intentionality from the director, who is a white man, I thought it was pretty great. Like, I think that there's a lot of undertones about consent, autonomy, independence. So really feel like he nailed it across all of the themes.
I was so surprised when I saw because the buzz around this movie is literally this guy is literally from YouTube, and it had stayed in theaters longer than anyone thought. It debuted higher than anyone thought. It made more money than anyone thought. It's really like a poor white man's sinner, basically. But it just shows that we urge and we want and we ask for original ideas. And it can be something as, oh, this guy makes a wish on a tree and it comes true, unfortunately, and it's very scary. Look how simple that idea is, this original IP that has it was a few millions, maybe even, I think like 2 million to make this movie, and it grossed so many millions, and now he's getting so many different offers. But it just really goes to show how much we want original content. And to your point, is literally for a white man, the way that he touched on consent, about who it really is a litmus test, depending on who you show this to, who do they think is the villain? Because there's so many people that just take this at face value, not necessarily people, but men particularly, that take this at face value as like, oh, damn, this chick went crazy. And it's like, what movie were you watching? Because even when okay, let's just start from the beginning. His grandma has passed away. He's very clearly grieving. He's not in a good place. We find out that his cat passed away because he left the pills out, the pain pills, and his cat chewed up the pain pills and passed away. And I'm just like, okay, well, it shows that you're a terribly irresponsible pet owner. And
I think he did that, right? Like, I was like, what conclusion are we supposed to draw for that? Because at first I thought Nikki came over there and she's about to be crazy, calling him about the necklace as his cat. I'm like, oh, okay. But then to know that she didn't do that, it's like your cat can't do the child safety lock for a bottle of pills. So the likelihood is you sprinkled those there and it's weird.
okay, so you think that he killed the cat? That because that's a debate online.
I think that he had to have, and I
What?
don't know if he created this event to evoke sympathy from Nikki because ultimately he didn't even wanna really go out that night with them and got convinced to,
Yeah.
but there's no logical conclusion to where the cat opened the medicine cabinet, did the child safety lock, and then took pills.
So, like, the theory is that he was taking his grandma's pills and he, like, left them out, and that's when we want to believe the innocence of him, allegedly. But me personally, everyone's guilty. So, if he left that out and he did that, he did that.
Yes. Yeah.
Point blank. Especially, like, how hungry does a cat have to be to literally eat sour, nasty pills? Cats are
Mhm.
very, very, like, picky. They don't like the bitter taste of expired pills. So it's very weird. So he goes out with his friends and she basically calls him out because he's acting weird. He gives her a ride home and she's like, do you like me? Like, Bear, do you like me? Yes or no? And he has the opportunity to tell her yes or no. And instead, he decides to act weird and call her Freaky Nikki, which was a name that they used in school to describe her. And he knows that she doesn't like that. So she's like, well, what the fuck is that about? And she's like, don't call me that. And it just shows from the very beginning just how mean spirit, like possessive, entitled, mean spirited, and also what a troll incel he is, just to call her that Freaky Nikki and see her reaction and then decide that you want to use that thing that you bought from the store as like a gift to her because she's also reveals that she's because they work together. So she also revealed that she wants to leave there, be like a writer or something, and not go to that same, not go to the same school, but work with him anymore in general. So, instantly we see a mood change when he breaks the pack of the one Willow wish, and ends up saying that her cat died, and you can tell that she's off put by what she's saying because she's like, "Wait, no, my cat didn't die. Your cat died." And he's off put too, because it's like, "Oh, how did you know that? Why did you say that? What's going on?" But it's just this whole time, like, he doesn't question her going from completely not into him, asking him, "Hey, do you like me?" to now wanting to go home with him. And they essentially go home and it is literally not her, and he knows it's not her because while they're hooking up, she's like she screams, and it was like such an outer body scream, and he was just fine with that, and I'm like, "Oh, if I didn't think that he was terrible before, welcome, real
And
bear."
pause. Some people are saying too, I see a lot of men excusing it and saying like, "Oh, Nikki liked him." Okay. Even if she did, she didn't. Even if she did, you're the type of person who thinks that, like, marital rape is okay. Like, just because she likes him doesn't mean that any decision that he made for her when she's no longer a consenting individual is okay. Like, there's no difference between somebody being knocked out on roofies or whatever and being unconscious and her no longer being in her body and like somebody else taking it over, which you'll get to eventually finds out and confirms.
Yeah, so okay, they have this whole thing where she decides to continue, and I knew that that was such a good scene in the movie where her eyes are just completely following him the entire time that he's at work having a conversation with his friend who we find out was hooking up with her this entire time, which was crazy to me. But she's like just all eyes on him, all crazy about him, even though that they had this weird night together. And he's just like, well, yeah, I mean, we're pretty much together now. And his friend is like, what? What's going on? He's like, well, yeah, her dad is sick. And his friend finds out that she was lying about her dad being sick. So there's so many different red flags here to tell him that she is not herself. And he doesn't care because they have a whole love montage where they are just laughing and talking and being a perfect couple and in different scenes. And it's out of a romantic comedy, but obviously there's distortion there and there's signs there in this montage that everything is literally not as it seems. And she just plays Indy is the actress's name. She plays this part so well, and they film a part so well that it's at night. The freak really comes out. There's a scene where she is like walking backwards
Oh
and
my god, yeah.
moving back and forth in the shadows in the bedroom, and he's like, "What the hell is going on? Can you lay down?" And she's just like, she takes some flowers and she hides behind the flowers and she like walks around, and it's like, "What, girl? What are you doing? Are you on Ambien?" Because I have heard of this odd
Mhm.
behavior on Ambien. Like, what's going on? Um, and he's just like, "Damn." And he talks to her, and this is the first time I'm noticing that she's still in her body. He talks to her and he's like, "Well, what would be so wrong with, being with me?" And she's like, "We were never together." And he takes that and he really like holds on to that. And I'm like, "Well, why are you so surprised? Because this girl has been your friend. She's not she never gave you any indication that she was interested in you romantically. You had the opportunity to say that. You didn't say that. You guys have never been together in that way. But I guess it's so crazy how we're perceived by other people. And sometimes our behaviors might sign something to someone else that it's not to ourselves. Because I'm like, am I giving off signals that I'm into you? Because nothing that she gave to Bear indicates that she would ever want to be with him in that way or has been with him in that way, and we know she hasn't because we find out that she was actually hooking up with his friend.
Exactly, and what's so jarring about that, that I think was so intentional, is it truly is incel behavior on behalf of Bear, because mind you, he, at this video store that they work at, has a girl pining after him, in
Right,
her body,
right.
choosing him, it's clear she likes him, and he's not reciprocating that because he thinks that he deserves a baddie, and she is, right? But he wants someone who's more conventionally attractive, and she's not. She wears the tall boots and she has the hair and the piercings. So he thinks that he deserves Nikki and should have Nikki. And first of all, the friend is weird for never telling him that, hey, we were hooking up. I don't know if that's a humiliation ritual amongst men to try to see if they can take her, essentially. Let me see if I can fuck your bitch. Like, let's see how he fares. I don't know what that was. Um, but yeah, the whole thing, sorry, that was my tangent.
Yeah. So weird. So it gets to the point where she is freaking the fuck out. Like they go to a friend hangout and she reads this very weird, odd poem, and because she's a writer, I don't know if it's a poem or a short story that she wrote, and it's so weird and gross, and I'm just like, "Oh, baby, you are touched." She gets hurt at this party. He doesn't even flinch. He's just like, "Okay, well, that's just some of her real behavior, I guess." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like, what is going on? Why are you okay with this? Like, why do you think that this is still a happy, healthy relationship?" Like, meanwhile, she's doing crazy things like, uh, cook like, the cat that died, she basically put it in a sandwich for him, and we get a peek of real Nikki. It's a photo, and it says, "Not me." So it's
And
like a
just
double and
ignored. Like,
yeah.
I can't.
And he ignores it. It's like you're eating cat. You're eating your dead cat that she packed for you with a photo that says "not me," and you're still and you're still thinking that you're in love and in a regular relationship. It's so crazy.
Mind you, at
So
that party, she dragged her, which was actually funny, like, I did laugh
yeah,
at that. Like,
yeah,
they pla their solution to Nikki's weird behavior is like, "Oh, like, let's play a party game." And so they play some game, and it's like, kiss the person to the left of you. Well, Nikki was not to Bear's left, but she was in a second because she went and dragged that who liked him out of the way. Everybody's watching. That would have been beyond enough for me to call out her behavior. I probably would have died that night in the movie, but I was
yeah.
like, "What's good?" Like, she needs to leave.
Like she is tripping. Like, why
The
are
girl
you
in
guys?
white needs to leave, or the girl in pink needs to leave.
That motherfucker over there is not real. Like that if I need honey in a bun on the airplane to literally be like, that motherfucker over there is not real. That's not Nikki. You're the bear. I will choose the actual bear rather than a man every time because you think that this is normal behavior and that this is okay. So he calls the hotline on the back of the pack for the wishing Willow thing, and the director actually answers the phone. Well, he's playing a part of a guy, and he it's the director's voice, and I'm like, "That's so cool to put yourself in your own movie, especially as a small role, especially when you ate that." So, but he basically tells him like, "Bro, you have this wish. I have the real Nikki here. You hear Nikki screaming. So, we now know that she's not in her body and that the wish will be over with," because he's like, "Can I alter the wish?" And the guy's like, "No, you make the wish, you deal with it, and it ends when basically you die." And that's how we find out for sure that Nikki is not just not herself, but she's also like her spirit is being kept in this other place because she's been replaced in her own body. And he just continues on. Like he doesn't try to break up with her. He doesn't try to fix her. He just goes to his friend and is like, "Listen, use this wish thing to get me out of this wish." And his friend is just like, "I wish for $1 billion if this actually works." And he ends up getting killed by like all the money that's like falling or whatever. But anyways, so he goes home and Nikki has done crazy stuff like she We talked about the cat thing, we talked about her beating up the girl. She also, kills the one girl that's actually attracted to Bear on this entire movie that would be perfect for him that we were talking about early. She finds them in the car together, and she literally, like, smushes her head into the steering wheel and was like, "Well, how about that?" And
Mind you,
he's just like,
moments later or I'm sorry, moments earlier, she was asking him to kill her. Like, that's when she was like, "Kill me." Because and this was, like, right after he's texting her. So it's like, at every opportunity that you know she's suffering and you could spare her, you don't. And also the friend for a second, this confused me because, okay, he gets the money, asshole, and then shows up Bear in Nikki's house. Moments later, he's there and he's like, "Bear, it worked." Like, I know it fucking worked. We were just standing in front of you. And then Nikki just turns with the rifle and shoots him, like, just like on instinct. And I'm like, well, if you deserved that. I don't know, in the movie, in the sense of the movie. But
yeah. It's just like you got what you deserve. Everyone gets what
Mhm.
well, not everyone. Poor Nikki, which comes back to the point here. It's so crazy. So she kills the girl, she kills her friend, and ultimately, Bear decides that he is going to end the wish by basically taking his own life, taking the pills. But right after he does that, Nikki gets the one wish, Willow, and she wishes that they're in love together, and you see him kinda, like, snap, and they're both in sync and in love, and then he dies. And then once he dies, because the wish is null and void now, she's back in her own body, having to see all the things laid out in front of her, and I'm like, I don't know if she is literally in pure shock or she has been watching from wherever she was being held hostage or her spirit
Mm,
is held hostage. What did you think? Like, do you think that she was possessed and in her body and could only take over
mm-mm.
some of the time, or was she locked away?
I think she was locked away, and the moments where she could regain her body, she tried to kill herself. Like, I think those were the moments. But what was so crazy about Bear, so he took the pills, and then before she made her wish, like, you think for a second, like, "Okay, he's gonna die. Like, she's gonna be left with all this. It's a lose-lose regardless, but okay." He's willing to take himself out, but then he throws up. This is,
Yeah.
like, before
Yeah.
her wish is even made, and it's like, "Oh, you're a piece of shit. You were just gonna go back out there and do it." Mind you, she duct taped you in the house. She stood there for 12 hours while you were at work and shit herself, vomited, peed herself. That was one of the most, like, upsetting scenes, like, and you were just gonna be okay with that. You were just gonna be like, he literally told her at one point, like, "Act more like Nikki." Like, he knows that it's not her, and his qualm with the demon is that she's not acting enough like Nikki. Like, okay.
That was just so but it like, the movie speaks to a bigger picture of literally what women and people deal with these type of characters all the time, and it's just, like, on a major scale. So, I'm just glad that they were able to put this on something that was so viral that men had to pay attention to it, because outside of, it being a good movie and the message behind it, it was just one of those movies that you have to watch. It's now streaming on Peacock. Really quickly before I let Leah go, I wanted to talk about some of the theories and observations that people have made online. Do you think that Sandy the cat was possessing Nikki? Okay, would you use a one wish Willow?
No, but, like, if I did, it would have been for something stupid. Like, I wish I could have my favorite piece of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, gravy, and corn for dinner tonight. And then it would be like, boom, there's my plate of food. And it would be like, sick. What a cool wish. And then it would be over. I wouldn't have wished for that, like I feel like I would have just been like, well, my mom's meatloaf. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. No, I don't think I would use one. Would you?
I think that I would use one and it would definitely be money based and I would be like the asshole friend, except I wouldn't do that to my friend and set him up to fail, I would just be obsessed with money. Like, yes, I would actually like but then now that I know it's so specific, it's like I need $1 billion in a bank account accessible to me only or something.
Right,
Like, I'm just so
right.
scared. They are selling One Wish Willows online. Would you buy it as a fan of the movie?
No. I mean, yeah, I would. I would buy it, right? But, like, w I'm weird. Like, it's like, I don't believe that it would work, but, like, I don't use a Ouija board. I didn't do the thing that you say 3 times in the mirror and wake up with scratches all over you. I'm out.
Right.
Like, I'm too skittish for that, but also, just so you know, if I was to seriously make a wish, it would 100% be for money as well. Like, I would be like, "I need $100,000,000 of legal money in a bank account that I can access and use, no problem."
Yeah, exactly. It's just something simple like that, something
Something
superficial.
simple, yes.
Like, I'm a simple woman.
Yes.
Um, okay, someone said that Nikki liked beer all along, and the fact that people can't see that annoys me. People are so focused on the theme of horror being the loss of body autonomy, and yes, that's a major scary aspect, but what another tragedy is, if Bear wasn't a puss and just confessed this, it could have all been avoided. No, Nikki didn't like beer all along, and that is, like even outside of, like, the bigger conversation, it's too much.
No, that would have never happened. She didn't like him. She was quitting. She was hooking up with his friend. She wasn't interested. And she gave no indication that she was interested at all. So, disagree.
Yeah. Um, so someone has a theory that Bear might no, we'll land on this one. I have a theory that Bear might not actually be dead. He only took a bunch of tablets, and depending on how quickly he was found, it's possible he survived. Since Nikki's final wish seemed to make Bear completely devoted to her, what if the effects of that wish didn't disappear? In a sequel, Bear could survive and become the obsessed one instead of Nikki. The first movie focused on Nikki being trapped into obsession, so Obsession 2 could reverse the roles and have Nikki dealing with an obsessed bear who can't move on because of the wish. It would be an interesting way to continue the story while keeping the theme of obsession at the center. What do we think about an Obsession 2 and that theory?
Absolutely not. I'm almost positive that a man wrote that. And it's all because you would like to believe that obsession is like, you just wanna see her be the villain. You can't sit in the discomfort of the fact that Bear is the villain, men are villains. That's the takeaway from this movie, so you want to expand on that and see a situation where she's actually taking advantage of him, and that just wouldn't happen because she'd probably just kill him. Like, honestly, like, I don't know, like, if someone was super obsessed and acting like that, you're out.
You gotta go.
You
And
gotta go.
she already has to run away because she just shot her best friend and killed another woman. So what's one more body, babe?
You're
You
like, "You
gotta
don't gotta
go.
ask me twice. The first time I get, 'Kill me!' Pow! You got it, because 'cause you're scaring me really bad, and I don't wanna deal with this for the rest of my life, so
I can't.
sorry I made the wish. Bye."
Exactly. Oh my god. Well, thank you for coming to talk about this movie with me. I've been wanting to talk about it. I thought that you were the perfect person to talk about it with. I don't like horror movies. Like, iconically don't like horror movies, but I'm trying to amplify my tastes and thoughts. The next that I'm going to get through is going to be They Will Kill You.
Mm,
Um, I heard it was really good,
I loved it.
obviously, and they just put the one with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, on HBO Max as well. So who
Oh,
knows?
the drama?
Yeah, the drama is on HBO Max. But yeah, so thank you for coming and chatting with me, and thank you guys for listening. Leah, tell everyone where they can find you and what you're working on next.
You can find me on well, first of all, follow my podcast, Positively Uncensored, whether you're a visual person on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you're following my TikTok for quick information when I don't have time to do a podcast and want to share news for you. And I am working on covering House of Stassi so that you don't have to watch it. I'll tell you what's going on, what the show's trying to do, what it's failing to do. Um, and I'm also watching 90 Day Fiancé, Love After Lockup, you name it, I'm probably watching it. So follow me everywhere and thank you for having me. It was so much fun to talk with you and thank you for sharing your audience with me.
Thank you so much. See y'all later and hype this video if you're watching on YouTube. Bye.